Good evening. I can't hear. Oh. Can you hear me now? No.
We can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Dillon. Okay. So I want to welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our first Ravens Roundtable. I'm extremely excited to have everyone here tonight, this evening. This is the launch of our, campaign for a monthly episode with our parents based on the suggestions that we received from our parents, as well as some topics that are of interest to our parents. So we wanted to take this opportunity to provide this platform, this forum for parents to gain information, to be able to ask questions, but then also to engage with us as a STEM Academy family. So with that, once again, welcome, and we appreciate you being here this evening. I now would like to turn it over to Ms. Lambert, our host for this evening. Okay. So I think Ms. Lambert is having a little tech difficulties. Okay, all right. So what we'll do, we'll let the panel introduce yourselves. So if you just unmute yourselves and introduce yourself to our audience tonight, and then we'll get started with the presentation for itsLearning.
Welcome this evening. This is Dr. Clark, and I teach 7th grade science at the STEM Academy.
Hello, this is Ms. Lash. I teach GIS and TED Ed public speaking at the STEM Academy, and I am one of our teacher itsLearning champions here at STEM as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Mary Peacock, and I'm the media specialist here at the STEM Academy, and I'm also an itsLearning champion, just like Ms. Lash.
And then I'll introduce Mrs. Lambert. Ms. Lambert is our film and broadcast teacher here at the STEM Academy. And she's also going to serve as our host for our episodes of the Ravens Roundtable. So I'm pretty sure she's working hard behind the scenes to make sure that she's get up and running tech-wise. But she's been very instrumental in putting this together for us. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and start the session. Dr. Clark, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
And Dr. Cave, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can, Mrs. Lambert.
My apologies. Everyone, while Dr. Clark is presenting today, I will be on chat, so please send your chats, your questions to me, Mary Ann Lambert, via chat. I will be taking those questions and we will be putting together an FAQ page afterwards available on our website. We are so excited about Ravens Roundtable and really looking forward to presenting this to you every single month. As you can see, this is a beta for us tonight. And so I appreciate your understanding my technical difficulties even tonight. But please, please, please send those questions to me. You will find me on the link with Mary Ann Lambert just right here in the chat. And you can send those questions to me and I will be taking those questions, putting them together, and we will answer those. And the video is being recorded. You will find that linked in our website and also straight on the Film at STEM YouTube, hopefully later tonight, if not tomorrow. Dr. Clark, take it away.
All right, so you need to enable screen sharing for me so I could share my screen. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Well, welcome. And my task tonight is to take you on a tour of itsLearning. And my goal really is to make sure that you have a little bit of familiarity and to create some content here that you could look back on once we post the video, so that you could be able to navigate and learn this system. So first, I just want to show where a great place to log into itsLearning is right on the STEM Academy website, and we have the little itsLearning here, and then you will just log in with Savannah-Chatham school account. So if you're a parent, you'll need to log in with your student's account so that you could view what they're seeing. So I won't be able to show you that part because it's going to automatically log me in as me. And then when students come in, they'll come to this screen right here. And as you can see, you'll see the courses that the student has, or the courses that I teach. And then over here on updates, the student can take a quick look of recent updates, what people have posted. Today I posted something on wavelengths. And so you'll see those different posts. And also I see follow-up tasks, but here a student would see the tasks that are out there that need to be completed for them. So if I go back to courses, there's two ways now to go to that course. The simple way is just to click on your course. The other way is to go to courses, and then you'll see a list, which you can then click on the proper course that you desire. So I'll just click on the itsLearning course right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change over to what we refer to as the student view. So this is what your student would see as they enter the class. And I just want to point out some things that are on this page. So on the left-hand side here, you would see the current lesson plans. So it goes from from in order to the more recent. So I just have one, so you just see one. But your student might see two or three, and the most recent plan is going to be further down the page. So why don't I take you through that? So to see what the student needs to be working on, there's this little show more link. And if you press that link, this will open up all of the lesson plans that are currently available to the student. And as you can see, it has a bunch of different things here. So let me take you through what you will see. And this is consistent across STEM. So we have, first thing is enduring understanding. And these would be the learning targets for the particular day of what we're attempting to teach the students. And then you'll see some little numbers here. And these are actually, this is one of the Georgia Standards of Excellence for Life Sciences. And so on this lesson, this is the standard we're working for. And then I put another kind of made up one here about being Ravens and learning our spirit. And next you'll see an opening, and this is how the teacher will start the class. For example, you might watch a video, you might visit a discussion thread, you might have a class discussion. So it's a way, there might be a demonstration. It's just a way to open the lesson. And then next would be the working session. So this opening lasts approximately 8 to 10 minutes on average. And so then you'll see the work session. This is what the student will be working on during that session, either by themselves or in small breakout groups. And then you will see the closing. And this is how the teacher will wrap up the learning for the day and see where students are struggling, see where students are succeeding, and make decisions. And then finally at the end, these are the various tasks or things that students would be doing during that particular session. And so there's a task and then a discussion and then some quick assignments that were on here. All right, so that's one way to view it. There is two other ways to view it, and I just want to show them to you quickly. One is this start button. So the start button it takes you through the same things, enduring understanding, and the navigation is up here on the top right-hand side. And So go to the next resource, and then you would see the standards, and then you would see the opening, and then you would see the work session, and then you would see the closing. And then finally, then it takes you to the particular task for that day. And the interesting thing about this view is it really takes you right to the task. So for example, for this task, we're going to watch a video about ravens. And so the student would click on this, and it would take you right to this site, and the student could play and watch the video, or the teacher could broadcast that to the class. So, and then once the student was done with that, they could just close out, and they would go back here, and this would be in this condition. And after you're done with it, you would just click, yep, I did that task. And then you could click over to the next task. And here is a discussion thread. So these are ways that students can engage through discussions digitally. Many classes set them up, but there's a thread for each of the blocks, because I have 4 classes of life science. So if I was in block 2, I would click on this thread here, and right at the top is what the student needs to answer or write an answer to in this discussion. And as you can see, Dr. Cave said some awesome things about ravens, and I replied. And so you can click on this here, and then that takes you, and it brings down the post and what you need to post here. And then the student could post, I think, ravens fun. All right, and then I would, sometimes we have to select a category. They like to play a lot. And then I could post that reply. And then all of these posts for all of the students would appear in real time. And then you could even reply to a particular student. So I could reply to Dr. Cave or any other student in those threads. So that's kind of how the threads work. There is no way to say, okay, I'm done with this task, because at that point, you've completed that, and the teacher can see that. And so you can go back here, or this is where I was, or I can just click here and I would go right to the next task. And sometimes things take a minute to load. So here is learn about and take notes about ravens. And so this is a good opportunity to show you how a student might complete an assignment about this. So they're going to learn about and talk about ravens. And I had saved this as a draft, so I kind of, let me show the assignment. There we go. So they would see this assignment, what they need to do, and there might be some web links on here that they would do during this task. So I might visit this website, and I'm going to read this website about ravens. And I'm going to read this National Geographic site and read this information about ravens. And then it's telling me that I need to take some notes on these following areas. So on these websites, I would look for these. And I would have a place to post that. And the student would be working in this space here. They can save it as a draft, as I had just done. And then when they're done, they can submit their work. If they're working outside of itsLearning on another document, they could cut and paste the information in here, or they could add those files by going to Google Drive and then searching and finding the file that they would need to add. And then, why don't penguins live in Georgia? And then they could select that. And then that would add that to what's going to be submitted as their assignment. So, and then they would hit submit. And then their assignment would be completed at that point. So this is kind of how it works with the various things that go through, and the student would work their way through these tasks. When they are done with these tasks, or if they want to exit out of this view, there's this X button up here that they can use. There's also these 3 bars, which shows all the different resources that I just went through. So they could jump around, they could go back to something without having to use the back button. And then that takes them out. Finally, the third way that students can look at what they need to do for the day is to click on plans. And then these plans will again show the same information, just a different format. I'd call that up and I could look at it. I can work on these various assignments just by clicking on them, and they would open back up like that, just like they did in the other view. So there's those 3 ways that students could look at things. The other thing that you'll notice here is tasks don't show up here, but assignments do. And so this is what would be due today, and it would say what time that assignment was due. And then it'll show some upcoming assignments. So this is an assignment that's already been assigned that's due tomorrow for that student. As you come down the page, there's this little meeting URL here. And this is a sticky note that you can stick that's on this front page all the time. And that is where the students will always find the Zoom meeting for their class. So if they get into itsLearning and they can't find their Zoom meeting, they just come right down here and they would click on this link and they would go to the Zoom meeting. Also near the bottom will be announcements. These are various things that the teacher has posted for that the students might need to know, like joining a website or other various types of things. So that's kind of the overview of those pages. What I'd like to do now is I'd just like to show you one more thing, which is accessing old assignments. Students will only see on this page what the teacher remains active. For example, in my classes, if we're working on a unit, I will keep all of the lesson plans for that unit active. And so the student will have to kind of scroll down, do the show more, and then scroll down until they find today's date of what they were going to work on. Other teachers are doing it differently, but there is one place. If you click on follow-up and reports, and then go to personal reports, this will show everything that has been posted in itsLearning that a student should be working on or should have completed. And it gives quite a bit of information. It'll say whether that task was mandatory or not. If there's a thread, it'll say how many threads were posted and the number that your student posted. I posted 3. And then each of these, in this view, it does not show the deadline sometimes. I don't know why it's not showing it right now, but once the deadline is typically in there, and it just might be the way I set this up for this demonstration. So that's a really good place to be able to go, is to go to that follow-up reports and click down here. Now you might have noticed there's a grade book here and stuff like that, but we are not using that grade book. And I just want to remind you that it's important that you check the grades in PowerSchool and not itsLearning, because that's the official place where we have the grades. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing at this point and turn it over to Miss Lash, I think.
Thank you, Dr. Clark. So I am going to go over how to turn in assignments a little bit more here in itsLearning. The majority of teachers at the STEM Academy utilize Google Docs. And right now, we're working something out at the district level where itsLearning is converting our Google Docs into Word documents. And to maintain working in Google Docs, we are Ravens, so we're creative and cunning. So we have created a way to for students to turn in work via Google Docs, and so they can work in Google Docs, and teachers can give feedback, and it's easier for students to go back and revise their work when they're given feedback. So I'm in one of the assignments Dr. Clark has in his itsLearning, to create a food chain that includes a raven. And he says, use this link to access and make a copy of the assignment. So I'm going to click that link, and it is going to bring up the Raven food chain assignment. Now, if I was a student in Dr. Clark's class, I would not have access to this. So I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to make a copy, and I'm going to put my name on it. I might even put what class I'm in. And I just made a copy of this document, then I can edit and work in. And when I am done and ready to submit it, I am going to share it. Sorry, I'm in my back room. I'm a little far away from my, my router here. So I am going to, sometimes it says change the link, so restricted to only people who can with this link. So I'm going to make sure that these sharing options are open, that people with the link can access this. So I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to go back to itsLearning, and I'm going to click Answer Assignment here for Dr. Clark. And this rich editing text box is going to pop up, and I'm going to paste that link into the text box. I'm going to check more options. This. So there's a couple of different ways. You could paste your URL like this, or you could go to more options, and there's a little chain here for a link, to insert a link. I'm going to paste it in there, and now it's going to be hyperlinked. So that is the best way to submit that. And there's a bunch of other opportunities to turn in work in different ways here, with pictures, and as well as audio, as well as video, that I know a lot of our teachers at the STEM Academy are using these options. And Dr. Clark also showed you how you could also add a file from Google Docs right there. So I'm going to submit it. And so it says you've submitted, and I see my answer right here. And that is the link that will take Dr. Clark to my document and to my homework. So that is what I'm sharing with you tonight. So thank you very much. And I am going to hand it over to Mrs. Peacock.
Hi, thanks Mrs. Lash, and thanks Dr. Clark. So a lot of what I'm gonna share tonight is a repeat somewhat of what Dr. Clark and Ms. Lash just showed us, but it's using an iPad. So I took video of myself using a student account in Dr. Clark's class on an iPad. So it's just to show you any differences there may be between the desktop version, which you're seeing tonight, and what students may find when they use the iPad. And by the way, I'm not using the app, itsLearning. I'm using the website. So I'm just going to Safari on the iPad. And so I just put together this short little video. So thank you. And Ms. Lamberth, I didn't know, since you're the host, if you can share that video, or you wanted to make me the host so I could share the video.
I can share it. That's fine, Ms. Peacock.
Great, thank you. So Ms. Lambert, I don't know, I think when you share it, there's a little checkbox to share the audio too. So I think you might have to.
It is checked.
I'm here on the home page of itsLearning, and I'm using Safari on the iPad, not the app, but I'm going through Safari. So when I choose the course that I want, notice on the right side it has tasks that are active and also that you can choose completed. Now I haven't completed any task yet, so let's choose an active one. I'm going to choose Raven the Brainy Bird. And notice here on the overview page, you can see a lot more than assignments. You can see announcements and other things that are related to the course. But specifically, I'm going to do an assignment called Ravens the Brainy Bird. Now this is just watching a video. There is nothing to turn in. It's just something that Dr. Clark wants us to complete. So I'm going to click the yes box when I watch the video. And now notice that it's gone not from the active, but it's moved over to the completed view of the tasks. So I'm going to choose another one. This one is called Learn About and Take Notes About Ravens. This one is simply answered by text because there are so many options on how to turn in assignments on itsLearning. So over on the right, it has details on the assignment, but I'm going to press Answer Assignment, and it shows you the rich text content box and where you can type in things, but so many more. You can insert videos, insert pictures, embed things. It really has a lot of options. So above and you can click the More Options button if you don't see all of the different options. So I'm simply going to copy and paste the text that Dr. Clark wants us to type. He wants us to find a third website and a whole bunch of other things about ravens. So I'm going to copy and paste into my content editor. And here you could just type your answers. But I also want to show you some other options where you could insert a picture. So I'm going to go and choose the icon that looks kind of like a mountain, and that is your images. Here you can choose images that are already in itsLearning, or you could upload a new one. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to upload an image. Here you can take a picture that you already have or in your camera roll, or you can take a picture live and turn that in. You can also turn in video. There's a lot of other options there. So here I am taking a picture, and I'm going to use photo and upload and insert into my assignment. Once I hit upload and insert, here's my picture inserted right into the rich content editor box. And you can put it along with your font. You can type along with your picture. It's not just one thing in the box. You can put a number of different things. I encourage you to check out some of the different options. In that rich content editor box, you can embed videos, you can do recordings, but you can also scroll down underneath the box and add files. This allows you to add files from your device, or you can link your Google Drive right to it. So thank you, Ms. Lash, for showing us how to do that. So here's my Google Drive if you'd like to add a file from that. However, I'm going to add a picture that's from my camera roll, or you can take it live just like you could in the content editor box. So after you add that file, see it shows up as whatever you uploaded, and then you're going to click the green button that says Submit to turn it in. So here is the submission page. It gives you an overview of what you turned in. It also has those details, again, of the assignment on the right. So as you can see, it has gone from my active tasks over to my completed task. And now we're going to go back to active, and I'm going to click on the assignment where it's asking for a video or audio recording about ravens. Anytime itsLearning asks for a video, it's in that rich text editor box. It's a button that looks kind of like a video camera, and you can either upload a video that you've already taken, or you can take one right there, take video. And through trial and error, I found that it's really the best option to take the video first outside of itsLearning and having it on your camera roll and then importing it already videoed. Because if you take a video in itsLearning right there, then if something happens and the file doesn't upload, then you have to do the whole video over again. But this way, if it's a camera roll, it's going to be there unless you delete it from your camera roll. And even then, it goes to your recently deleted albums. So, and also when you record either video or audio, you want to make sure it's a minimum of 11 seconds because itsLearning will not recognize a shorter video or shorter clip of audio. You can also click add files if you'd rather do that. I found that that takes a little bit longer for it to upload than if you use the rich content editor box. On this window, you'll want to wait till it completely uploads and that you see that it's complete, and then you'll hit save, and then you can hit the green submit button. After you successfully submit your assignment, you will receive an email from itsLearning confirming that the assignment was submitted correctly. You can always go to your completed tasks and review any submitted assignments there. Thank you.
Okay, thanks everybody. I hope that helps to answer some questions. That video is also on YouTube if you ever need to go back and revisit that. And of course, just like Ms. Lambert said, this will be available on video too on the STEM website. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for sharing all of your words of advice and wisdom. If I could have our entire panel go back through and introduce yourselves as well. We had a lot of people to join. We still have people joining. I want to thank everyone who has joined our Ravens Roundtable tonight. I know they're probably in the middle of Dr. Clark. We had over 20 people trying to join at one time, and I really want to thank you for your patience at that process. So if I could have our panel go back through and introduce yourselves very quickly, that would be great.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Cave. I'm the principal of the STEM Academy, and I work with an amazing group of people at the STEM Academy. And we're so happy that you're with us for your child's middle school experience. And we all are learning this new platform, itsLearning together. But as we continue to work with it, continue to practice with it, I'm pretty sure that we will gain more proficiency, and then things would, end up turning out easier for us. So thank you for your patience, and also thank you for your collaboration and your willingness to support your students in the STEM Academy. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Clark, and I teach 7th grade science, and that includes one class of honors biology class. And I'm in my 3rd year at STEM, and this has been probably one of the most incredible experiences of my life as a second career. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I'm really enjoying the process. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ms. Lash. This is my 7th year teaching at the STEM Academy. It is my 1st year teaching GIS and TED Ed public speaking. And along with Mrs. Peacock, I am a itsLearning champion at school. So we are trying to help the staff and our students and all of you get through learning this platform together.
Hi, I'm Mary Peacock. I'm the media specialist at the STEM Academy at Bartlett. And I am the iPad guru. I do all the iPads for our students here. And I'm just trying the best to help teachers and students to use itsLearning and to really make that a positive experience for all of us in this crazy time of virtual school.
I think we also have our assistant principal on here as well, Ms. Taylor.
Good evening, everyone. How are you doing this evening? It's great to have you here. And again, I want to echo what everyone has said. We're learning this together. It's new. It's different. We are going to learn together. If you have questions, we're here for you. I actually went in as a student myself, and my job was to create a video and submit it. And I got to tell you, word is around the academy, if Ms. Taylor can do it, anybody can. So I know you guys have this. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. And again, if there's anything we can do, don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great night, and go Ravens.
If I can ask the panel, what are some tips for our parents? What are some tips for our parents to share with our students? What is some advice that you can give to our parents during this time of adopting this brand new technology, this new platform? What would you tell them? And whether it is a quick tip for itsLearning or some advice to tell your student in adapting to this new technology, what would you tell them?
I would reiterate the importance of the tool Dr. Clark showed under reports, the personal report under follow-ups and reports. Under personal report, you'll be able to see all of the work in that particular class that has been assigned. Since it is so daily, and not necessarily, it is a blog, but not what we're used to as an interface, I would say that is the best quick, what does my student need to do? What have they done? What have they not done? That is, I think, one of the best tools to be able to go and look if a student has missed the in-class session where a teacher has walked everyone through what's going on. If they couldn't be there that day, then they know where to go to see on this day, this work was assigned and this is what was on the platform at that time. I definitely think that is a tool that should be utilized.
Great advice.
I would like to just encourage all the parents and students. You guys are doing a great job, and please don't stress out. We're right in here with you, and we're going to help. So I would just encourage you to just take it one step at a time, one class at a time, go to one Zoom at a time. Don't start looking ahead, and because I think all of that could just pile up and get a little overwhelming. So I would just take it one class at a time, one Zoom at a time, and just do your best, because I know you are.
We always repeat the mantra in my Film at STEM class, Ms. Peacock: a technology emergency is not an emergency. A technology emergency is not an emergency, unless we lit it on fire that day. So, which is nice. We haven't been in the building, so no fires this year. Dr. Cave appreciates that.
So I have one other tip I forgot to mention is that, the best way to use itsLearning, if you're on a PC, then Chrome is probably the best platform to do that. And if you're on an iPad and a Mac, Safari, and if you're on an iPad, I know on personal iPads, sometimes people load Chrome, and Chrome does not like itsLearning when you're on an iPad. Certain things will just not work. And so you need to use Safari, and this is what the students should be doing. Not using the app, because the app doesn't show a lot of information, and I think it's much more difficult to navigate than the itsLearning site. So our best practice is to use Safari on the iPad to access and to use itsLearning.
And while we have so many parents here, we probably should reiterate, just stay away from the apps. Stay away from the app for PowerSchool right now. Stay away from the app for itsLearning. Go to the website. go to the website. It's showing so much more information right now for Power School, and it's showing so much more information for itsLearning. You're going to get all the details for both. And we want you to have all the details right now. All those little details are so useful. I know I have, administrators, I have media specialists on here, I have teachers. Talk to me about the importance of a student having an agenda to go along with itsLearning, or having some type of to-do list or a plan, that writing it down, making a plan, is that helpful for them right now? I know my 8th graders have talked about that.
Yes, absolutely. I think as adults, we have all learned the appreciation of a paper agenda, or a paper agenda, or a journal, or a bullet journal, or a to-do list. And I think whenever we can reinforce those skills with our learners who are learning how to organize themselves, it can be a very useful tool throughout middle school and high school and college and their future lives. So I would, even though itsLearning does give you, you sign in and it gives you a whole to-do list, I would definitely also encourage students to have, even if it's just a reporter's notebook, it doesn't have to be like a fancy, agenda with gold gilded letters on it or anything like that. Just a list of a running tab list of things to do. And it feels so good to cross things off of that list, right? And so that is something that can give all of our students and us adults like a, okay, I did it. I crossed that off my list. And something we've been talking a lot about as a staff is being grateful. And, I think a place where you have a to-do list, jotting down some gratitude in the corner right there, or just in the top corner of something that you're thankful for while you're doing your to-do list, I think is probably really good for the soul too. So definitely.
I love that. And probably putting some moments in there for social emotional learning too. Taking time for yourself and being mindful of taking time away from itsLearning, taking time for those brain breaks too. So I really like that. Thank you, Ms. Lash. Thank you. What other things can we say to help our parents mitigate this time of transitioning? I know we got so used to one platform, we moved to another platform. What other advice do you have for them right now with moving to all of this? I know I had a parent ask tonight, how what can I do to tell my child, how do they remember which course is what? How do they, some courses have the names, some courses have this. Can we do block numbers? What's the best way to identify their courses on itsLearning? What should they be looking for, especially when some courses are going to be changing in 9 weeks? Some courses are going to be changing a semester. What should they be looking for?
Well, my recommendation would be to always have handy, since we just started the school year, have their class schedule handy. That way they know, of course, what live Zoom session they need to attend. And then that corresponds with the class or the course that they're taking in itsLearning. So maintaining that class schedule that we have, certainly to the point where you get used to what's happening, what's going on, and get familiar with, your daily routines. But just having that handy as a reminder of what courses that you're involved in, and then corresponding that with the itsLearning, and that would kind of keep you on track there.
And can I just add too, that the view in itsLearning, instead of when you're on the home screen, instead of choosing updates, which mixes all your courses together, choose courses, because then that shows you all those little course cards that are all different colors. And so that lays it out in a really graphical way if you're having trouble looking at a certain course.
Great tip. Love that. What other best practices should students be doing? Like checking email? What should they be doing every day along with itsLearning to make sure that itsLearning is working for them? What
Yeah,
do you recommend as teachers?
Yeah, so, well, one thing I noticed, and it does have more to do with itsLearning, is that it doesn't, itsLearning platform will send out an email like when a student completes a task, but it doesn't seem to send any other types of emails. Like when I send a notification, that notification does not go outside of itsLearning via email. And in my brain, I was thinking that it would, because that's the way Google Classroom worked. But I asked my students, and no, they only see those when they're on the website. And it's really, it's not hard to miss, but, we've all seen that number in our inbox sometimes on our email as it gets larger and larger. And so it will have a number up there if they have a message from a teacher, and looking at those messages on when they're on itsLearning. And taking some time to quickly go through those messages, because those are often kind of important announcements. It might be additional materials that have been added. It might be, I need you guys all to sign up for a particular website because we're going to do some work on that in a couple days. So those messages are important to check.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then also, I would encourage students to get off a screen. So there are intentional brain breaks built into our day. And I can't tell you how many kids I have who are like ready to sign into their Zoom when it doesn't start in 15 minutes, which is great. I love that they're on time, but also at the same time, that is supposed to be a visual break away from a screen. So I would encourage a kid to go to the refrigerator, get a glass of water, walk, do a quick walk, around the yard or something like that, to like get your face out of a screen. But also that's when our brain thinks. That's why we have ideas in the shower, because we're not in front of something. And so it's really important to kind of let our brains digest what we're doing instead of being in front of a screen all day. So I would definitely encourage students to take advantage of those 5 minutes, take advantage of those 15 minutes, and do not be in front of a screen. But also during those 15 minutes, plug your iPad in. How about that? It'd be great. What a great time to plug your iPad in. So that's what I would say.
Every 7th block teacher just said thank you, Miss Lash. Every 7th block teacher said thank you, especially 6th grade 7th block teachers. You will be getting Starbucks cards tomorrow. I guarantee it.
And I would add, please tell your students not to panic. There are things that are going to happen. They're going to have issues with some assignments and getting certain things to upload the way they need it to and the way they want it to. And tell them it's okay. Don't panic. Reach out to that teacher via email, contact them, let them know. They will absolutely work with your students. We are very aware that this is new and we're all learning together. So tell them to keep calm, just notify the teacher, and we'll figure a workaround.
And I'll have to say this, the students have been really awesome, because sometimes when you switch around, your mic turns off and I'll be sitting there talking. And it's very nice when a student actually informs me that my mic isn't on. So, but the students are helping each other. I think that they're supporting each other. I know the teachers are supporting each other, and we're trying to get through this and make this really happen. I mean, it's an exciting platform that I'm starting to like it better than Google Classroom, I have to say. It can do so much more, but there is a steep learning curve for that for students. So like I said, reach out. I've had so many students reach out, and I'm just, the first thing I say, don't worry, let's figure it out. We'll find a way for you to get your assignment in. It's not late. Sometimes you can't get into Zoom. Don't freak out. It's okay. Send me a note. You're present if you send me a note. And we're making a recording of that beginning part of that session, which will be available later in the day. So yeah, don't panic.
The resilience of our students. I think they're figuring out how to build the connections with each other as well. I'm noticing that a lot of our students are connecting with those classmates, and they're starting to form a buddy to let their buddy know, hey, I couldn't get in a Zoom. Could you let my teacher know? And so I do recommend your students having that buddy in class and letting them know, hey, it's just like you have that buddy in brick and mortar class, right? Like, hey, I'm not going to be in class today. Can I get your notes whenever I get back in Miss Lambert's class? It's the same thing in virtual school. So if I'm not going to be, in Ms. Lash's class, I know that I need to get Dr. Clark's notes because he's the better note taker anyway. So I definitely need to get his notes. So in virtual learning, I'm going to try and get his notes because y'all ought to see what he's pulling. So yeah, like I recommend that for our students, that they have that buddy, they build that network. And I've been really excited that students ask me at the end of the day, they're like, hey, can we stay on for an extra 5 minutes? We just want to talk. So they're building that friendship too. So I hope that continues to grow as well. So let us know how we can support that. What other advice do we have for our parents and our students? We have advisement going on as well. That's going on through itsLearning. That's exciting. We have advisement tomorrow, guys. So parents, don't forget to remind your students a schedule change. We will be following advisement and club schedule tomorrow. So I had to sneak that in for all our parents. You saw I snuck that in for everyone. Ms. Taylor, I believe you have closing remarks tonight. Those were recorded, correct? Dr. Clark?
Yes, yeah, they're recorded. She was gracious enough to complete one of the assignments.
Okay, now I did not send you a STEM rubric for this, but if you need one later, just let me know.
Oh, you're gonna give me one after you see my film. Yes.
Okay.
All right, so I'll share my screen, and we will. What am I sharing? I have too many windows open. Okay, this one. Okay.
And while he's pulling this up, one of our participants did send me a chat and remind all of our parents that in a lot of our ELA classes and everything, our students have been learning how to write professional emails over the last few weeks, or they have reviewed that. So make sure, parents, that you are putting that skill to use as well. So if they are messaging you or emailing you or even texting you, that they are using professional courtesy when they are messaging you and emailing you and asking you to pick up that sandwich on your way home from work. So they should be writing professional emails at this point. They have learned that in their classes.
Thank you. So this is kind of a little peek behind the curtain, as they say. This is what the teacher sees. So this is the current unit, What is a Raven? And these are all the assignments. And I can click on any one of these, and I've clicked on the create a video and audio recording. And then I can see who's submitted, who hasn't submitted, if they submitted late, all those kinds of wonderful things. And then this is Miss Taylor's submission, which might take a few moments to load here. Don't fail me now. Here we go. So this is our let's see what we got.
Good evening, everyone. Lydia Taylor here with your last tip for use.
Can you guys hear that? Did I click the right button? Wait 1 second. I don't think I shared that correctly. All right, let's try that again.
It was perfect. It was perfect. It was great.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Using itsLearning. As a student tonight in Dr. Clark's class, my assignment was to create a video. Well, here it is. I'm going to walk you through how I did that. I went into the class for the day. I selected the assignment. Once it came up, it said answer the assignment. Within that window, there were several options. I opted for the movie camera, which recorded this video. You can also select the microphone, and that will record just audio. Once I was done, I hit stop and submitted the video. I'll admit it, I did have to cancel and start over many times. You also have the option to save as a draft. So I want to thank you for joining us for our very first Raven Roundtable on itsLearning. Hopefully you got a lot of good information. And I want to give a big thank you to Dr. Clark, our teacher for the evening, and to Miss Lambert, our hostess for the evening, and the students. We had Dr. Cave as a student. We had Miss Peacock. We have Miss Lash and Miss Battles. So thank you very much. Have a great evening. See you soon, and go Ravens.
I gotta use the virtual clap. Where is that? There we go.
That was awesome. Thank you, Miss Taylor, so much. And thank you to our entire panel and to all of our parents and everyone who came tonight with your questions and concerns and just with your excitement about learning more about itsLearning and for helping our students become better learners, because that's truly what we're here about. At the STEM Academy, our motto is, I shall find a way or make one. And that is what we are doing with this platform, and that is what we are accomplishing every single day. Remember that we are recording this tonight. It will be posted within 24 hours, and we will also share our questions and answers on our FAQ page so you can continue to learn and grow. Again, thank you to our panel. Thank you to all of you, and we look forward to seeing all of our students tomorrow at the STEM Academy online. Good night, everyone.
Good night.